Why can you not want
right now. Get down. Get down. Get down. Get up. You better get down. You better get down. Get down. Get down. Why are you talking about me? You stop lying. You are you talking about?
You want to be
Yeah, no shit. How about that?
All right, episode 2, Mac and Clay Show. Your host, Mac and Clay, with me today, as always. And today we're going to talk about a few more topics. The first being the new change in Army boot camp, doing away with the shark attack, and then we're going to jump right into the oldest living Marine, and then the dichotomy of the love and hate Marines have for the Marine Corps. So, Clay, hit it off. Tell us about the big changes in Army boot camp.
Yeah, so they decided to do away with shark attack, which I think it's more or less just a drill instructor yelling in your drill sergeant, excuse me, in the Army, yelling at you in your face. We don't have a word for that in Marine Corps boot camp because it happens. I don't know.
We do have a word for it. It's called every damn day.
Yeah, it's called "This is normal." I get used to it, right? So I guess they say it doesn't build any teamwork with senior enlisted. They're supposed to trust them. So they're going to replace it with other team building exercises whenever they show up to BCT. So be interesting to see how that goes. If there was a boot camp that was close, well, I guess close as any other service would be to Marine Corps boot camp, I would call it Army. And I think they just distance themselves a little further. But it's that entitled, I think everybody gets a trophy mentality. I think that's getting pushed into boot camp. So everybody signs up for it. You have to be ready. Enemy doesn't give a shit about your feelings. Neither should the drill instructors, drill sergeants, whatever have you.
Right. And so, like, what is the purpose of boot camp? I think if we go into the mentality of, like, why does the military exist? And what is the purpose of the basic training to be in the military? Well, yeah. The purpose of the military is to protect America. So basically, the most base level is combat, to engage in combat with the enemies of the United States.
Fight wars.
And so if we are engaging in politically correct, changing how we basically train military members, are we going to do the same when it comes to combat? Is combat going to then change its standard for how we engage in combat? Are we going to make sure that it's a team effort and it's not going to hurt anyone's feelings? No, fuck that.
You should have thought about that before you signed the fucking contract.
If we're going to train, if you look at, we talked about athletes today versus athletes 50 years ago.
Yeah.
The athletes of today have such a higher level of physical ability. And why is that? Because they continually ratchet up the training standards, the minimum training standards. My kids were going to join, play hockey, right? And for them to even remotely think about getting on a team, these kids are starting skating at like 3 years old. And everyone has the dreams of being in the NHL. So they're training their little butts off from day one, and the standard is so high. So if that's the case for, training for athletes, why are we not increasingly upping the standard for the military? Instead, we're lowering the standard so that more people are eligible to enter. Why do we want more people to be eligible to enter the military? It should be, this is the standard.
Qualified people.
This is the standard of which you have to meet to be in the military. If you cannot, you are not in the military, period. Because combat is combat.
Yeah. And how are they supposed to prepare you for the potential of combat within 3 short months if they don't have another tool in their toolbox right now to get that done? So,
and also, so why do we do the shark attack? Or I've never even heard that word before until I saw it on the news.
Yeah.
Why overwhelm a recruit with multiple drill sergeants or drill instructors shouting at one person at the time? Because if you think about the individuals that come into boot camp, right? you've got people from all walks of life. Some people have already established, a father figure in their life, have a healthy understanding and respect for authority. A lot of guys do not. They have never had a positive role model, father figure, or someone to respect in an authority figure, so they don't understand what authority is. So to establish that, it might take more than one drill instructor, more than one drill sergeant, establishing that level of who's in charge. Because if you put one-on-one, you might have some dude who just showed up to boot camp and he's pretty big.
He's ripped.
And now you got this drill instructor who's 3 inches shorter than him getting in his face. Where is that level of dominance going to be?
Yeah. I know. And I mean, everybody says it, right? They'd punch a drill instructor in the face. I mean, I don't know. I think they have to establish.
Well, it happens. It does happen sometimes.
Yeah. They have to establish superiority quick.
What happens if you get an entire platoon, 90 guys, and one dude lays the drill instructor out? And that's it. Now, what has happened to the rest of the platoon? All authority, all level of respect and hierarchy of rank has been undermined completely. So that's the purpose of this approach, is to establish who's in charge and make no mistake about it. There are no ways around it. You are going to do what we tell you to do. Instant obedience to orders.
Yes.
And there is no choice.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's bringing it in. You strip them down, build them up, and they need to. You need to let them be stripped down before you can build them back up, and how you need them to be to fight a war, basically, and have the balls to not shit themselves when bullets start flying. That's basically where that starts. Is the day you show up.
And boot camp is supposed to be stressful, because combat is stressful.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about, we both went through Marine Corps boot camp, and up to that point, I was 18 when I went in. I'd never experienced anything that stressful mentally or physically ever in my life.
No, completely.
And when I got through it, I realized what I was actually capable of. Mm-hmm. And a little bit of yelling and screaming in my face at that point was nothing to me.
No.
Like, yeah, I made it through that. Go ahead and scream in my face. Like, I can have somebody here screaming at me, back here, up under me, wherever. And I know that I can still continue to perform my job because I can focus and separate and still do my job.
And that's a lot of value that's brought to veterans once they get out, even is dealing with stressful situations, right? Some of us handle it well, some of us don't, but at least they know that we have the capability to function in a high stress environment, which is something that a lot of companies look for, right? So, I mean, I feel like, that's a bad part in some people's eyes, but if you take the good out of what the intention for that is, I think there's skills to be gained that you can use the rest of your life within that short amount of time. So I don't know. I'd be interested to hear from anybody, any Army cat follows the show. Did you go through a shark attack, and how was it? Do you think we still need it? What's up? Let us know in the comments.
For sure.
Happiness. Belt-fed weapon.
All right, so moving on. The next segment will be a shout out to the oldest living Marine.
Yeah, and this time, so it was Richard Overton last year was the jarhead. He made it pretty old too. I think he was 108, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Correct me. But he sat on his front porch, smoked a cigar, and drank whiskey every day, and that was his secret, right? So just keep that in your brain housing group. If you want to live forever, smoke a cigar and drink whiskey. You heard that here first. So
solid advice.
Yes, always. And that is directly from the mouth of clay. So
there'll be a legal disclaimer somewhere at the bottom here.
Yeah. Not responsible for any actions taken. So the current oldest living Marine is actually a female Marine, which is awesome. She joined back in World War II. It's Sergeant Dot Cole. So she joined in 1943, World War II. So she is 107. She just turned 107 this past Saturday. So happy birthday, Sergeant Cole.
It's fantastic. Happy birthday, Sergeant Cole. Hoorah.
Different breed.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine. Like we were talking about this a little while ago. World War II veterans are a very rare and special group of people. They did some amazing things in their lifetime, and I've gotten the opportunity to speak to several, and it's amazing. And if you get an opportunity to speak with any veteran of a war prior to your service, jump at that chance, because generally they've got some really cool experiences and wisdom and knowledge about life in general. And you should try to soak up as much as that. Close your mouth, open your ears, and listen to what they have to say. So again, happy birthday, Sergeant Cole.
I don't care that we're in combat, Marine. We will adhere to proper grooming standards.
I'll segue us right into the next segment, which is the dichotomy of the love-hate relationship that Marines have with the Marine Corps. And this may be similar with other branches as well, but I'm only speaking from my experience having been a Marine and having known and spoken with literally thousands of Marines now that we have this Instagram page and YouTube channel. And it seems very commonplace where Marines, while they're in, hate it. It sucks. There
100%.
is so much about the Marine Corps that just is such bullshit. You do so much nonsense. We joke about being janitors more than riflemen. You play fuck games. You
Field
stay on
day.
the field longer. You show up to formation earlier. You don't get out on leave or liberty when you should. You do shit duties. It's garbage. There's so much about it that's garbage. And when you get out, and you can't wait to get out, right? You just
the whole time. You can't wait.
And then what happens when you get out?
You missed
Give it
the
what?
shot.
Give it what? How many months?
I don't know. I'd
3
say
months?
it took 6 months when it set in to when, God damn, I have to get a real job. Like, I have to work. I have to
I equate
buy
it
a house.
to like if you had an ex-girlfriend that the relationship was garbage, but the sex was fantastic.
Yeah.
It would be something like that, where you look
Get
back
torn.
and like, oh my God. You don't remember the negative parts of it. You remember the parts that you feel romantically about.
Yeah.
And that is hanging out with your buddies, guys that you will never have friendships like that ever again. Getting to shoot machine guns and rockets and fucking throw grenades and ride and
Blow shit up. Yeah. The stuff
blow
you had at your
shit up,
fingertips.
like,
Stuff you had at your fingertips is all gone. And yeah, it is humbling to think about it. You spend your whole time wanting to get out, and then after you do, it's like, how can I get back in? Sometimes, like I hear a lot of people, burn or trash their uniforms and stuff like that. And I get it. But I bet you'll regret that decision 5-10 years down the road at some point, right? Like
I sold a lot of my stuff, like the Army surplus or whatever. I'm like that. A lot of the stuff I couldn't fit in anymore or whatever. And then now you're like, damn, I kind of wish I still had a couple pairs of those Woodlands.
Just to have it, right? Yeah, just to have it. Give to the kids or something, whatever, pass along. But yeah, I didn't have a single moto tat till I got out. It was not cool to get a moto tat while you're in, right? You're like, I don't want to be that fucking guy.
Well, I found out the hard way. I went out like right after SOI, and we all went out and got some. I got the classic bulldog on my shoulder. But again, I didn't get anything else until after I was out of the Marine Corps for 10 years. And then I was like, oh, fucking sleeve my ass up, baby.
Hell yeah. You don't really reflect on it, though.
Yeah.
Until a while after you've been out. You don't really reflect on how life-changing those 4, 8, 12, however many you did.
We all wish we did 20.
Yeah. No.
Well, I mean, look back now. If I had stayed in, I had been retired last year.
Yeah.
And
I would have retired this past April. That was my retirement date. So, yeah, we're old as fuck.
Yeah, we are. That's right. So let us know if you were in the Marine Corps or if you were in another branch and you had a similar experience. Did you hate it? while you were in? Or were you one of those assholes that like the rest of us were like, you were freaking annoying. You love this shit. What are you doing? Get out of here.
Yeah. That loved the green weenie.
Yeah.
One of those cats that loved the green weenie.
Anyways, let us know in the comments what you think or feel about your time in. And now that you're out, do you look back and wish you're still in, or wish you could go back, or, you know, those kinds of things, which will bring us to our last segment. And that is the buddies that you had while you're in, right? We talk about the 22 suicides per day and the 22 push-ups that people are doing, which is so cute. But what is important? What's real? How do we actually change the narrative? How do we change what's going on with veteran suicide? How do we make a difference? And while 22 push-ups was intended to bring awareness, I think we are now at the point where we all are aware. Now it's time to do something real. Now it's time to actually make a difference in someone's life. And how do you do that? How do you go about it? And I think sometimes we spend so much time thinking of all these like brilliant ideas, like we got to do this, we got to do that, we got to get these veterans out on these extravagant vacations, we got to get into these big expensive counseling sessions and make them commit to going to the VA and all this stuff, taking their medication. And all that stuff could be and might be very effective, and I'm sure it is in a lot of ways. But sometimes we skip some of the simple ideas, like calling your boy, shooting shit, you know, just seeing how he's doing.
Legitimately, like you have very powerful tools at your fingertips now with social media and everything. I mean, most people are on there, and if not, you got the Google and you can find somebody. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to find somebody that I went through boot camp with, and probably with a little bit of digging, I could probably find them, like just find them, reach out, see how they're doing, see how their family is. That's what means more than videoing yourself doing 22 push-ups a day for 22 a day. That's just my opinion. If that's how you want to show and raise awareness, I'm not knocking you for it, but I feel like it could be time better spent actually calling somebody you served with and making that connection or reconnecting, because you may be the voice that they need to hear. You never know.
And I was talking to a counselor not that long ago, and I've listened to podcasts about, I went through depression and still deal with the residuals of depression. And it's always like this thing that's kind of, I feel like these little hands that are behind my shoulders, always trying to like climb back in and grab root again. And you got to be like constantly knife handing them off. And, it takes effort. It's a daily battle sometimes to stay good, and it can be exhausting. And when you think about someone calling you, asking for advice, saying, hey man, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling depressed, I'm feeling like suicide could be on the table. And being the guy that reaches out to someone, it can feel very overwhelming to think that you need to be the one that gives your buddy advice. And what I would suggest is don't expect to have to know what to say. Sometimes you don't have to say anything. Sometimes all it is the fact that you called to say, hey man, I was thinking about you. I care about you. We should never be too cool or above or think it's weird or gay or lame to call your buddy and just be like, man, I love your ass. Bring it in. I'll give you a big ass hug. You know what I mean? Like that should be cool. That should be cool. Going up to your buddy and give him a hug and just tell him, like, I'm thinking about you. You mean a lot to me. I care about you. And if you want to chat, you want to throw some shit at me, tell me how your day was. Oh, your day sucked. You want to talk about it? I don't know what to tell you to do with your day. I don't know. I have zero advice, but I'll listen. I'll give you the time. I'll stop what I'm doing and let you know that you're important enough to me to give you 22 minutes. Maybe I'll give you 22 minutes of my day instead of 22 push-ups. And just listen to what you have to say. And sometimes all that is needed is to have someone willing to listen, because I know that for myself, I've been in situations before where it felt overwhelming for me, and all I needed was someone to listen to me so that I could talk it out. And then when I was talking about it, my situation didn't change, but I definitely felt better because I said it.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all it is.
Absolutely.
I encourage you, call your boy.
Find him. Reach out. It'll do you some good too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, every time I call a buddy, at the end of that phone call, I feel better. And depression and anxiety and all these things, it's chemicals in your brain, right? What if getting off the phone with your buddy release some positive emotions, chemicals, whatever, sciencey shit, and it makes you feel better, right? And then you take that and you get home from your drive, coming home from work, and instead of feeling aggravated about work, you felt positive because you talked to the boy. And then you decide, I'm gonna eat a healthy dinner, or I'm gonna go for a run, hit a workout. Your whole day, your whole week might be better because you took the time to do something for yourself and for your buddy.
100%. But you never know until you try.
That's right. So that's our little challenge for the week is call your buddy, see how he's doing. Let us know how it goes in the comments, and if anything we said in this episode resonated, you had some comments or thoughts, let us know. If you have questions or ideas for another episode, let us know in the comments as well, and we'll talk to you guys soon.
It's okay.